Yes. Game over indeed. But is it game over for the show? We got to keep asking this every week. I mean, one person says it might be, the other person might not. It's just a dichotomy of things here. But you know
No,
what?
I never said that. I said it's just okay. It's not as good as it was. It's just never said it's
I
over.
love when somebody has so much enthusiasm before the product, and then when the product's not what they are, they sink down to silt. And I am seeing that before my very eyes. So
Yeah, you know, it's like what George Lucas has said. It's like poetry. It rhymes. Chris, we can't hear you, sir.
Nope.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Got it.
Oh,
You know what? It's not going to last. You guys can't be happy. It's never going to last.
Oh man, I was feeling like a brief instance of peace right there, Chris, when you weren't
it'll
speaking
last
there.
if y'all stop saying you can't hear them and just keep rolling with the flow.
Oh, whatever. I said that's not the right way to do things. Anyways,
Sadly,
I was going to say that it's just kind of hilarious that at the beginning of this, he did say that this is the best person who's never had this showrunner's never had anything bad.
He had until now.
And that's what I told you. I said that's how it always is. They're number one until they aren't. You know, and you went right there. It went there, right there, and now you're like
a sick puppy at the vet.
Yeah,
can't get the right shot.
Parvo. All Parvo now.
Justin Proper, good to see you. He's heard about you.
Yeah, we were in a discussion here the other night.
Huh.
Me and Justin. Yeah, he popped in on Tommy's show.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Real quick, I'm gonna let everybody go around the panel real quick. Let everybody know where they can find themselves at. We'll start to my right, Danny Graham, sir. Where can they find you at?
You can find me on my channel, The Road to Wisdom, on Monday and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me here on Saturdays at least for another 2 weeks. Also, you can find me Thursdays on another roundtable I'm on for another 2 weeks. Wednesday, I'm on The Hangout along with Austin and several other guys. Tomorrow, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can find me on Storms Live with me, Guy Scar, DJ, and Storms Live. And then on the first 3 Mondays of the month, me, Chris Lonzo, each have a different show on the Chaos Central Network. So I'm a little bit of here, a little bit there, a little bit everywhere.
Very good. Very good. Shifty, where can they find you at, sir?
Every Thursday night, 8:30 p.m. on Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective and Vinny Art for the Collectible Pass toy show. 3 hours talking about toys from the 1960s, actually 1950s, all the way up till today. It's a lot of fun. Usually lasts 3 hours. It's good stuff. On Fridays, Slasher McSplitter, we got a new show. It's me, him, and Vinny Art. And if y'all want to join us, we're watching Lucha Underground from the beginning, 2 episodes every week. That we're talking about it in a show afterwards.
What are you watching?
It's pretty Lucha Underground. It was a Lucha Libre show that was on El Rey back in 2014. It's okay. It takes a while to get going, but we're just started that up last night, and we had some fun. Then Chris will tell you about what we're doing on Sunday night.
No, yeah.
All right, very good. Oh,
no, you can do it.
All right, I'll do it. Yes.
All right. Well, then, Chris, then the floor is yours, I guess.
Well, it's always mine. I just yield it to you guys to be nice.
Wow, no, what a humble individual here.
I am very humble. If you have not met me, you don't understand how humble I actually am. Real Review 3000, Chaos Central, Honstar YT, here, there, everywhere. Tomorrow night, doing the Jackbox game night and What the Dub weekly wrap up is what we call it. Sit there, just have a good time, drink, sometimes just having a good time. And on Monday, like Danny said, Chaos Central, the first 3 Mondays of the month. This month, it's the last 3 Mondays because Labor Day. So we took that week off. Yeah, 3 different shows: the Chaotic Conversation, which is Danny's show; the Chaos List, which is Anzo's show; and then mine is the Rule of 3. So this week coming up, I believe Anzo's going. So also, I hope, but being football season and all that, we might be doing Square One here soon again, which is sports show that Danny runs. You can find me over there. Said here, there, and everywhere. So looking forward to tonight. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Always a pleasure to have you. You know, you can find me on my channel where we've been doing the Alien Earth Roundtable for the last few weeks here. Later on this week, I might be doing another stream with Shifty and possibly Roams because I got to be honest. There's another something wrestling related happened this week that I need to go on a rant on because I'm like, Jesus.
Couple of things.
Yeah, couple of things. But there's one major thing. That you can find me. Usually I'm on Robert Storm's channel, usually on every other Sunday for Storm's Nation. You can find me sometimes on the Hangout when my job, when I'm not very tired. And sometimes I'm on the weekly wrap up, but it's more rare nowadays. But I like to keep my appearances very rare, so that way when I show up, it's a big deal. And you can and I'm on the Cool Kids channel where I'm a cool kid. We review movies. They just did a review of The Long Walk. I think they might be still going. I don't know. Right, dude, what's going on, sir? Good to see you. Justin comes in, so it becomes bad at a certain point. I don't know. I mean, it's possible.
No, Justin, it does not. There's certain people that like to live in caves and rabbit holes, but for the sane people that don't go down those rabbit holes and occasionally come out for sun from the caves, it's a good show. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not calling anybody names.
Sorry, Justin. We did not heed the warning until way too late. Let's see here. And then a bunch of comments. And yes, that was very, very atrocious, that Karen. Oy vey. All right. Well, since we're going to start off very unusual here this week, as some people saw last week's stream, Chris Knight was not here to discuss the
we banned him for a week after what happened the week before.
Bullshit. Bullshit. You didn't ban me. I was working today. I've been working a lot of Saturdays. That's what happened.
He's a working man. And I'm going to let Chris give his thoughts on Shifty's favorite episode of the season, episode 5.
I gave it a C. It was. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's very interesting, I think. Okay. Yeah, so flashback episode. Sometimes, these things are good or bad. I think this was, for the most part, pretty darn good. We see exactly what happened on the Magna. Is it a Magna? Is that how you say it?
Wayland called it like Maginot.
Yeah, Maginot. I don't know.
Maginot. I don't know.
Weird, it's just like all the ships on these in the alien worlds are weird. Anyways, we see it when it's 17 days out from Earth, so that kind of picks us up right from the first episode. Like we saw him there, but we see the fire break out, and we find that that's kind of what released the face huggers and all that. Well, that I'm trying to think that they were in containment, and that's one of the reasons why they broke out or they got out. Of course, we see that the captain is attacked by one. Bronsky is. Dinsdale, I think, was the name of the guy. The blood kills him. And then I think they try to go to the cryo sleep to stop the gestation, if I remember right. I'm trying to remember back. Anyways, we see a lot of that stuff. My likes for it were the suspense and the tension. I think it does a great job of building the dread of what was going on the ship. I will say this: it really felt almost like the most like an actual alien, like the movies almost. It felt more like that. But then again, I said it with the first episode that that beginning scene really felt like watching Alien at the very beginning. So it makes sense that we go back and that's what it is. Definitely, again, I'm going to say this whole season so far, it is the visuals, the lighting, the creature design for the most part. There's a few things, again, that I'm not 100% with the creature stuff. But I think all of the visuals are still really good. It is classic Alien. And again, get a lot more character development from it. We get more information about characters. I think there's some plot clarification in this and a lot of callbacks or homages to the original Alien tropes. Dislikes for it were the tension was kind of fumbling at time. It was kind of predictable. So I don't know if that's because it's so much like the original format that it just kind of was like you saw what was coming. Yeah, I just trying to think here what else. The balance of it, was kind of a little too much horror. Like it's like we got to throw a lot in right here, which I think one of you guys, I'm not sure if it was Shifty or Austinator, or maybe it was you, Hanzo. One of you guys, can't remember, said that when we got this flashback, it was going to be pretty gory. Well, it was, and sometimes I want a little less of that. Pacing is always a thing, pace that in there. But it was as good as the episode was. A lot of plot stuff is going on. There's a lot of stuff that they're trying to explain, which again, we kind of went into at the beginning that there's a lot of things they were opening up that they have to get through and explain stuff and things like that. The crash, the sabotage, multiple different creatures, all the motivations going on, all that stuff coming in this. It's just a lot of stuff to take in at one time. Now, granted, they did it in episode 5. I guess that's better than doing it in episode 7 or 8. But that's it. I will say though, this really does feel like it fits. It's starting to move into the direction of fitting into the Alien mythos or canon a little better. I'm still not sure if it's all going to wrap up neatly or if they will get another season. I'm sure that Shifty will hate it now that if it gets another season, but whatever.
It is. It's Holly said that he wants to move it towards Aliens at some point.
I understand that. I'm just saying,
yeah.
In this climate of stuff, especially in streaming, guaranteed second seasons are few and far between. I mean, they might get it. I don't know though. I think that there's still a lot of problems with the Prometheus and Covenant contradictions, which take what you want from that, whatever, I just wish they'd either totally ignore it or not try to go against it, just be whatever it is. I did think this was one of the strongest episodes. It's solid mid-season stuff. Again, the one thing I will say about streaming shows that we normally do roundtables on, it gets clunky around this point. It feels like it's actually getting to a place where it's finding its feet. It's starting to really understand the type of show it is. Grades, I would say, I would give it right around a B plus A minus. I don't know right offhand, but I'd say B plus A minus, right on there.
Did you think it got a little too goofy towards the end when like the alien was fighting the dude and the alien looked like a man in the suit and he was like shimmying down the hallway? And
there's a reason why in the originals they never really showed one contact. And I think it still goes today that that is one thing they shouldn't have done. I get what they're trying to do, but yeah, it's kind of like when you watch what was it, Alien 3 that had the bad CGI.
I
Or
think
is that?
so. It might
I
have been.
think
It
it's
was
only
either.
3.
It might have been 3. Yeah.
I think it's 3, where they, where you see it and they were doing puppets, and and then they comped it on top of it kind of felt like that. I don't know if silly is the answer or the word I would use, as much as I just would say very disconcerting. It just took me out of the moment that what they were trying to do. I don't think they were going for funny. I don't know. Maybe they were. I don't know why. But anyways, that happens. But whatever. I mean, it's also TV, or technically TV streaming, so maybe they just don't have that money to really try that. But there's a reason why the aliens have always been in the shadows, mostly because it looks better. The ominous tone works better than showing exactly what's going on. Only a few times do we really get that, like with the chest bursts and stuff like that. That's good for that, because it doesn't really it just shows that happening. Put that creature after it's fully formed and all that right next to a person. You got to be really careful, and obviously they haven't figured out that answer yet. So anyways, yeah, there you go.
All right. Well, now see, usually this is where we would end the show, but unfortunately, that Chris was talking about episode 5, not episode 6. So, unfortunately, it's not going to be a early night tonight. Yeah, I know my thoughts exactly. But I'll let Anzo actually introduce himself first, because we haven't gotten our overall thoughts yet. So, Anzo, where can they find you at, sir?
What's up, guys? Bigger Ford Entertainment. You know the channel. Check me out. Do a couple of shows, but the one show that I'm promoting a lot right now is The Rewind of Saturday, 10 o'clock with me and Brian. Make sure to check it out.
All right. Very good. Very good. All right. Well, it is time to talk about episode 6, and it's time to give our overall thoughts. I'm going to start with Danny over to my right. Your overall thoughts on episode 6.
I'll be very brief. I know some people don't like this series, whatever, don't like certain aspects of it, but I think this series is masterful. I'm using that word. I think the first time I ever used it on a stream. This show is masterful in keeping my attention. It is masterful in letting me be like, man, I want to see you. Tuesday nights, I'm watching this. First thing Wednesday morning. I can't say that by a lot of other streamers you saw in the past. There were some here or there sprinkle, but for this particular series, I am definitely curious of the last 2 episodes. To me, Kirsch, when he's on the screen, he has my full attention. Morrow as well. I can't say that for everybody else. So there are 3 people that I'm going to tune into whenever they're on the screen. I think they dominate screen time. That's Kirsch, Cavalier, and whatever you pronounce his name, and Morrow. Those 3 are by far the standouts as far as the acting and the interest in the character. I thought the show was fantastic. Not as good as the last episode, but I think the writing, for me, is masterful in keeping me interested in wanting to see the show, and I'm ready to see the last 2 episodes.
All right. Very good. Very good. Shifty, your overall thoughts.
Well, I mean, I like the show, but my interest in it isn't as I don't like it as much as I did those first 3 episodes. It's kind of slid downhill. I still would like to see how it ends. I hope it sticks landing. This episode was kind of frustrating though. They baited and switched us with the teaser off of episode 5 coming into this one. There's a lot of scenes shown in that didn't take place, which threw a massive wrench into anyone speculating what was going to happen. Deceptive editing like that it's super annoying. I mean, I don't care if my predictions are wrong, but I do care if they're wrong because they f with the fans on purpose, or they don't stick to showing what's supposed to happen in the episode that's coming up, right? I mean, it takes half the fun out of
I see
watching.
where this is gonna go. Look, Chris is
Or,
already going.
or,
Chris is
or
already
Wait,
it takes half
mad.
it takes half the fun. I'm talking here.
I just have a question, and I'm going to stop.
I'm talking. I'm talking. I'm
I
talking.
have a question
I'm
for you.
talking. Hello.
have
I'm
a
talking. I'm
question
not
for
done.
you.
I'm not done. I'm
I'm
not done.
trying to get a
Have the
question
fun out of
out,
watching,
and
or
then
at least
you
catch
can
me
go
not
forward.
wanting to watch any sort of previews because of it. But then you'd be theorizing about stuff others would
You're
know is
telling
wrong
me.
because they watched them. So you're fucked either way. I'm continuing here.
You're
This
telling
episode
me that
had
you're
some
mad
plot
because they aren't
holes that
telling you
frankly
exactly
give
what's
no
supposed to
reason
happen.
to. Also, it has some padding. I honestly think this show could have probably been, or this show, it could have been about 6 episodes instead of 8 because stuff feels like it's dragging. It's dragging and it's unnecessary. I don't think it should have took this long to get to Smee to set all this stuff up with the Agnes. It feels like it's just dragging, and it might be because the kid. It's the kid in the grown up body, and that's getting a little bit overplayed. I don't know, but it feels like it's dragging. It's a mixed bag for me. There's some good stuff, mostly conversations here and there. Everything that happened in the lab was awesome. Next week should be better. And that's all I have to say, Austin, here. Thank you.
And he has nothing to say about saying that he hates the fact or dislikes the fact that the show decided to totally not tell us what's going on. He doesn't like the fact that
what?
You just said
if you
it.
would listen to
You
it
said you
instead
didn't
of
like
interrupting me. If you would instead of interrupting me, instead of interrupting me, if you had interrupted me, you would have heard what I said. I said I was not. I said I know what I said, Chris. It's right in front of me on his pad, and I said what I said. And if you hadn't interrupted me, you would have heard what I said. What I said was I'm not disappointed that my theories did not take place. They didn't pan out, right? That's not. I'm not mad about that. I'm just annoyed that they show previews for the next 3 episodes without telling us it's the next 3 episodes, and you think it's just for the upcoming episode that's coming up this week. You would think all the scenes that they show would.
Can I say something? I am. Do something like that way. They don't have to do that. The fact that
they don't have to do anything, Chris. Yes, they don't have to do anything. I can be annoyed by that.
Hold on, everybody.
I can be annoyed by that.
Danny would like to ask something or say something.
I just want to make a statement. I've seen shows, and I say, for instance, I like Strange New Worlds. Usually, I've seen this done a lot. Not all shows, but they'll show the first episode. House of Dragon does, if I'm mistaken.
The first episode.
Then they'll show
not
a whole
episode 5
collage.
Yes,
of the whole.
They'll
season.
say this season on Next Generation or whatever.
But I'm just asking.
This wasn't that. This wasn't that.
Let me finish, please. They decide to do that on the 3rd, 4th, or 5th episode. What is the difference in your mind?
Yeah,
if they should tell you, right? If they say like next week, because I'm seeing the freaking xenomorph out in the wild, and he knows that the fans have been speculating since freaking January, whenever that trailer came out, of the fly escaping its cage and flying through the ship when the ship was crashing. Everybody's been speculating that was a new type of Xeno, right? And then they have the episode The Fly coming up this week, right? And what is the first thing you see out in the wild? You see a little baby xenomorph. So, oh my God, that might, confirm that our speculations are true, that the xenomorph is the Fly and it's a hybrid and all this. And you see, the troops moving in on the cave and the baby xenomorph in the cave. And you see all this stuff. None of that happened in this episode, but they showed it last week to promote this episode, and that's deceptive marketing, and I'm annoyed by that. What do you mean I think they did that? That's what they did. They showed those scenes, and those scenes weren't in this episode. It was a bait and switch. It ain't about what I think, it's about what they did.
It's not.
How are you?
No. What I'm saying is, no, stop. What I'm saying is one, what does it fucking matter?
It matters a lot.
No,
it matters a lot.
What we've
Because
said.
I like to speculate. We always like to theorize about what happens in the next episode.
Let me
It's
say
fun.
that. Let me
It's
say something
fun,
about that.
right?
Let me say
Oh,
something about
Jesus
that.
Christ.
What I'm going to say is this. We all like to speculate, yes, but you seem to be the only one that gets bent out of shape that we're
No,
wrong.
don't even.
We're
Chris,
wrong all
did
the
you
time.
fuck off? Did you watch the show last week? I wasn't been out of shape. You're coming
No,
at
I
me
don't
full
mean
bore
that.
again.
I'm not. I'm
Again,
just
you're coming
asking a question about this, though.
We
Because
didn't have this issue last week. Why are you like this?
I'm just asking this.
You're on my ass. Neither
What?
Danny,
Let's talk about that.
Anzo, they're not on my ass about this, but you're on my ass every week. Why?
We all like to speculate. I'm just trying to figure out why a preview why it matters. What that changes about speculating? We can still
It has a
speculate.
lot.
Nothing changes anything.
It changed a lot because I told you that none of the scenes that they showed it's like Jurassic Park, right? The second to last Jurassic World film, not this new one. They sold that film, that last film, on the last 2 minutes of the movie of all the dinosaurs getting loose and running through like the regular habitats, right? They didn't show jack shit about the cloning subplot initially. They didn't show nothing about that. And I was a little ticked when I watched that movie because I thought it was going to be all about, the dinosaurs running down the road. I didn't get that in that movie. And I was like, oh, man, that sucks.
May I
So
ask, I'm just asking a question. I'm not getting on your ass. I'm just asking a question. Haven't we said as content creators, as moviegoers, that sometimes in the trailers and in the promotions that sometimes they give too much, and sometimes we go in. I don't
they
think that
did.
movie. I'm just asking.
They get
Before, if I go to the movie and I see everything in the trailer or in the preview or whatever, I'll be like, well, I've heard it said. Well, I even go and they showed you everything because sometimes they'll just show you the best parts. But when you go in there and if they give you
they
something
did this time.
okay,
What you're saying, they actually did. They actually did what you're saying. They showed the best parts of what's going to come before we should have saw them because we were speculating on stuff that wasn't going to happen in this episode. We were speculating on stuff that's going to be happening in the second to last episode. All the action bits, all the good stuff with the Xeno.
Okay, but
I think you go ahead. Sorry, Danny.
My follow-up is like, if they did that, and I'm not saying they did or didn't, but if they did do what you said, but they gave us something in this particular episode of some substance, like so to speak, some fat to chew on, then doesn't that kind of balance it off? Yeah, they did show this, and this, but what they gave me in this episode gives me even more dialogue to make even more speculation, even more theory, even more. That's how I saw it.
Yes, because I'm not basing all of my likes and dislikes just on that. That's just this one part of it. All right, that's just one part of it.
I get what you're saying. Basically, you saw something in a trailer, they didn't show it, and you're a little aggravated about that. That's your main overall.
I'm aggravated that they hinted something was going to happen, right? And that a heavy amount of speculation was going into this, and it's been going since January for a lot of fans because it was dealing with this creature, the Fly, that they've been building up for like 8 months now, and they threw a curveball in the trailer, and it wasn't what it wasn't in the episode. We've already said all this, but.
Really quick.
But if it wasn't in this episode, that doesn't mean it's not going to be in next episode. So you can still your speculation doesn't mean anything really. You just thought it was going to be.
That's the problem.
No, you just thought it was going to be in one episode.
No. I will reread it again without anybody yelling, and I can.
No. Wait, let me. I'm just trying.
Look, I can't even get my thoughts out because you're wait, and I can't.
I'm trying to wrap it up right now so we can just go forward. I'm just asking.
Wrap it the fuck up,
and
Chris. Come on, do it.
Let me finish then, or I'll just keep continuing every time.
Well,
here's the thing. My question is exactly what Anzo said. You want to speculate exactly every episode. Most of the time, Never mind. Yeah.
Oh, he left?
Yeah, if that or he dropped, I don't know. But I just want to know that why he can't speculate for going forward. It doesn't have to happen in this episode.
You messing with him, Chris.
Hmm?
You messing with him.
I wasn't. I was trying to get an answer out of him about what exactly kind of what Anzo said. It's like, what does that change about your ability to speculate anything?
You keep
Really
messing with him.
doesn't.
If you see he's getting agitated, you just need to back off, in my opinion. But hey, that's y'all thing. Go ahead, Alternator. The floor is yours.
All right. Well, after that
Anzo.
whole fiasco there, let's do it. Anzo, overall thoughts.
Overall sense, this episode was all right. I don't think it was one of the best, to be honest with you. There's a lot of things in it that I do like, but I also see that they're probably going in a route that I don't want to see them go in. And we'll get into that when we get into the negatives. But it was overall, it was this show's not trash. Let's just put it that way. You know what I mean? Is it great? Not really, but it's not trash. I
That
like
hurts your soul to say that.
that is not trash. No, no.
Yes, it
No,
does.
no, the show I want to be trash.
Trash.
No, well, I love to say trash, but this is not it. You know, this is not it.
Oh goodness. Oh, okay.
All right.
What's next, Alternator?
Now we'll do Chris for overall thoughts.
Oh yeah, fun times. Let me get to my notes. Jesus, where are they? Yeah. Overall thoughts. I think it's one of the strongest episodes. Again, I think it pushes the tension even more. Again, the moral and existential questions that are going on in this are sharper and focused. Delivers some of the most visceral horror moments. I mean, again, there's some major things that go on in this episode that I will get into a little more here later on. But again, I still think this is one of the best episodes, and it makes me feel like it's going in the right direction. So,
Okay. Fair enough. As far as my overall thoughts go, I thought this episode was pretty solid. Definitely, it had a lot of its ups and downs, but it did again kind of what episode 4 did. It's more of like a setup episode, I guess. It does a lot of things that I thought worked. But kind of like what Anzo said, there's things that it's going down a road that's like, I don't know. But I'm kind of in a position where the show so far has been pretty solid for the most part, and I want to see it end strongly. But the main concern I have leading towards the end of this is this show going to end in a way that I don't want necessarily everything. If they're going to do it in multiple seasons, then they shouldn't wrap everything up. But I would like to see them wrap up most of it in case there is a situation where we only get one season. But it's just, there are just some concerns that I have, but I'll probably go into them once we get there. But overall, it was a pretty decent episode. We're gonna move into our positives. Let's start with Anzo. Positives.
All right. So one of my main positives in this show is I am more interested in the creatures than I am with the xenomorphs right now. You know, I mean, and I want to know what's going on with the eyeball, right? Because it seems to be very intelligent and it seems to be smarter than anybody on that little island right there. So I'm definitely interested in seeing more of that. I definitely want to see more of the plant creature that's hanging from the ceiling or whatever that is. I hope it opens up to something like, oh man, that's absolutely amazing, you know. But those are my main positives in the show, is that I actually want to see other creatures. Some of the I think the dialogue between Cavalier and Utani was pretty good when they did the court thing. You know, he kind of got the upper hand on her in that, so that was pretty interesting. I like that little dynamic there. Um, Again, Kirsch is, you know, one of the best things in the show. Oh, and the best part was the dialogue between him and Moore on the elevator. Like, no doubt about it, that was the best part of the show. I
Yep.
thought it was great the way they were going with the back and forth. And again, I don't know if they're gonna fight in this season, but I can't wait to see when those two go head to head. You know, I think it's gonna be very interesting. Now, other things, what I'm noticing is like Kirsch is, you know, either like Danny said in my stream that he's setting everything up, or he's just doing what all the androids have done in every single Alien movie, observing it, not interfering, letting it go to see where it happens, because I think he needs to have an understanding of these creatures and what he's going up against, right? So that's interesting. And um, what else? That's it for now. But I'll let you guys go, and if I think of anything, I'll come back.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Chris, overall positives.
You can't hear me. Okay.
Yeah, no, I just the death, Toodles, right there. That kind of, I don't know. I mean, we talked about wanting some of this stuff to happen, but when you start taking off people that have been there for a few episodes, okay, good job. I think that's always something that a show should take a chance with risk of. Yeah, I don't disagree with Anzo about the fact of wanting to know more about the eyeball and stuff. I'm trying to figure out the why you add that, knowing that putting it in this type of a show, this world, that because of it being so different than anything else we've dealt with, why you would do that, because you know it's going to be the star. Going to some of the things Shitty said though about the showrunner, maybe that's what he wanted to do, because at the beginning when I was reading up stuff about this, he pretty much said, I want to make my own thing. I want to, you know, I want my series to stand out from everything else that is Alien. That's helping it. The flies that are there, you know, that's interesting. Man, let's see here. The friction between Chris and Mora right now, man, that I think it's kind of like me and Shifty on some things right now. I think it's right there. And I don't know. Let's see here. Again, killing major players in the show, that's the big like. I love it when they do that. And the corporation stuff going on, I don't hate that so much. I know I heard some people talking about not liking that. If it's done right, especially in Alien, because that's what it's all about, is what the corporate side of things is. The fact that Utani is playing with the power dynamics of everything going on, just besides the horror and stuff. I kind of get the feeling, and I think Danny may have said something like this, like these corporations that are involved, we just have to wait and see what their actual end game is. We kind of think we know, but I think that's kind of what we're going to get in 7 and 8 is that final end goal of what they're really after. Yeah, that's I'll stop there.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'll do my positives here real quick. Again, like what Anzo said, I think the creatures are just I again, this is more of like a thing that's like it's like a positive and negative, right? It's a double-edged sword. because you're bringing these new creatures into the show that are very interesting, but in doing so, you're kind of making the xenomorph look not necessarily lame, but because we've seen the xenomorph so many times, that's like, oh, okay. But now you're bringing in something new. It's like, oh, okay, I'm gravitating towards that. Like, we saw the flies this episode, which killed the one kid, which I was like, hell yeah. First of all, I mean, shit. I mean, he melted his face off right there. I mean, that's one less annoying kid right there. But
Unless they're able to, fix him and bring his conscience back like they did with Wendy, right? Because we've seen Wendy die and they brought her back. So I'm wondering if they could do that with all of them. Like if they just read down the consciousness and be like, okay, you're back. So that's going to be interesting to see.
yeah. But I really did like that. And I also kind of like seeing just how scummy like this company run by Boy, because basically taking the one girl who was like having the trauma and like, or basically violating the rights almost of consciousness, or like just kind of the violation of morals, I guess, if that makes any sense. um erasing her memories and basically doing a factory reset, but it's also necessary evil, right? Because as a corporation, you're like, we got to show off these new thing that everybody wants to see, and it's faulty. You're like, what do we do here? So I like seeing stuff like that. And then kind of like what Anto said, the whole courtroom thing with Boy, and then the head of Wayland Yutani basically manipulating her and gaslighting her into being like, hey, listen, I'll give you what you want, but in reality, you're gonna do it my way. Like I'll give it back to you, but you got to give me a shit ton of money. Plus, I'm gonna have enough time to experiment on these things to. So it's stuff like that again, and like the visuals and the overall just look of it looks great, and the way they end the episode with the face hugger attaching itself to the one guy, or no, the male head scientist there. I thought that was like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, I don't really have much else. Just a lot of like the main stuff, and yeah, that's all I got for positives so far. Danny, I'll let you do your positives.
Like I said, I think the way it's creating interest, I agree with what Anzo said. I don't know if I'm necessarily more concerned or more intrigued with the creatures than I've already seen 4 out of 5 and what they can do. I think it's very interesting that Kirsch and Morrow are only 2 that know what majority of. Morrow probably knows what all 5 can do, but now Kirsch knows what 4 out of the 5 can do. Even Cavalier doesn't know that. I think that Kirsch intentionally set that door so that young man would pull it off, whatever, or it would malfunction. That his curiosity and his need to please Kirsch and try to become Kirsch's number 2 would override his common sense. And then, like Anzo said, why did that eye kind of get his attention and lock him in there? So that eye, I don't know whether it's good, I don't know whether it's bad, because in one episode, like it was trying to save the doctor, then in this episode, like it was trying to set it up. So is the eye learning about this fly thing? Is it something that's from its home world? It look like it's definitely familiar with xenomorph, but look like maybe this fly is something it's not familiar with. So maybe it was trying to do its own test as well as Kirsch. Kirsch definitely has something going. I don't think it's just sitting idly by and see how things are going to play out. I think that what the transaction between him and Mara in the elevator, I think it kind of touched and hit his spot a little bit, because he's saying like you're the old toy and these new kids and stuff. So maybe Kirsch is trying to evolve as well, and he see the best way to do it is I got to learn what my enemies can do or these creatures can do. I know what 3 of them can do, and now with the help and the sacrifice of the young kid, I now know what 4 of them can do. So I would not be a bit surprised if Kirsch is trying to do something. And I always keep going back to the movie with Rutger Hauer and Harrison Ford. There's a very comparison Blade Runner. There's a the way Kirsch look and the guy Rutger Hauer looks are very similar. So I think they're in the same universe. And I just think that this guy who's writing it, whoever's writing it, directing it, I think I've been more interested and more invested in this series on FX than I have a lot of the movies. So to me, that says something because some of the movies I can take them or leave them. But to me, like I said, every Tuesday I'm trying to watch it or definitely Wednesday at the latest. So I definitely think it's like I said, it's not to me. It's not as good as the last episode, but this is. I haven't seen a filler episode in my opinion. Every episode has progressed the story, is moving it forward. It has my interest, and I really like it.
Okay.
In fact, I like the kid better now with a memory wipe than when she had her memories.
That I agree with. You will not hear me disagreeing on that one.
And tell you the truth, Wendy's starting to get on my nerve a little bit because she's kind of flipping flopping. So I was team Wendy at first. Now, not so much.
Not so much. Mm.
Interesting. Very interesting. So we are going to get into our negatives here. I'm going to start with. We'll start with Chris. Negatives.
Negatives. Again, this time I think not so much bloated plot points or a bloated thing. I would say it's a bit exposition heavy. Seems like sometimes the conversations feel like they're too on the nose or forced into it for like a very good reason, but it still feels like, hey, I'm telling you this right now so you know what I'm trying to convey to you. Just gets to the, I don't know, sometimes just looking at the screen and saying 2 + 2 = 4, that type of thing. It's just okay. It seemed like it paused occasionally, give us a lecture rather than letting the story or the characters do that for it. The pacing felt a little fast, maybe, and I don't know if that's really something I should be complaining about, seeing as some of these seems like the pacing was kind of slow. Oh man, we get back into some of the stuff we've seen in alien movies where you gotta kind of sit there, and I think, what was it, Shifty or you, Austin, when you're talking about Prometheus and Covenant, where we're talking about some of the scientists, or maybe it was you, Danny, talking about how the scientists doing something felt like, oh, come on, really? Wouldn't they know better? I feel like it was questionable in some of the characters' choices in this episode. Yeah. Why would anybody, go into like a containment area after a breach?
That is stupid.
Yeah, it's just like, those things. The character choices in this, it just go ahead.
I like the writing because the writer knows what we as spectators are saying. Man, that's so stupid. But we got to remember these are kids, so kids are curious to a fault, and the writer is using that to make them do silly and stupid things that as an adult we're like, why are you doing that? But the kid don't see danger.
Yeah, well, and again, it still has that's something that happens a lot in these movies. And to be truthful, in a lot of horror,
I don't think it's exposition. I think that is smart writing.
That's not. I'm not talking about that necessarily. I'm just saying that to me is the questionable choices that I kind of sit there. But when you bring it up, you got to think they're kids. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll let that go.
But that's the problem. That's why they made them kids so that they could have these stupid decisions made throughout the show. You know what I mean? I still don't like the fact that they're young kids like that.
But if they stay, I agree. I agree with you. Don't liking it. That part I have a problem with. But if they're
Mhm.
staying true to how naive these kids are and not going to suddenly they done jump 15 years and now they're super smart, then that would be like, well, whoa, now this 2 episodes ago they were doing silly kid stuff now. So now they're still sticking with the immaturity and the gullibility of these kids. So the writing is consistent the way that I see it. But I get what you're saying, Alonzo, about you don't like the fact that they use kids instead of adults, but I don't know if it would work as well if they were adults. I think it would be a different layer, a different dynamic if it were adults. It may not be as good as it is,
No, I don't
at least to
disagree
me.
with you.
Sorry, Chris.
No, you're fine. I think that, like, while Toodle's death was really a powerful thing in this episode, some of the other deaths just feel like they were kind of just like, let's just kill this one. Let's do it now, here, right here. It just felt a little uneven when it happened, but it was all right. I mean, again, when you start killing off characters, I'm okay with that. I mean, because ultimately, by the time this is all done, doesn't most of this have to be wrapped up and kind of swept under a rug? I mean,
Yeah, if it's one season, I agree. If it's multiple seasons, then I wouldn't do it too fast.
well, no, yeah, but what I mean is whenever this series is done, going into the movies, using this idea that this is happening in that same world, eventually what's going on right now, what we're watching, has to get swept under the rug somehow. It's going to be a cover-up of some sort, but it's going to have to happen.
It's probably going to be like, what's the thing we like? Star Wars? The Acolyte.
Nobody likes Star Wars in here.
No, but I'm saying.
Yeah, come on, Danny.
No, listen. I'm not saying we like the Acolyte. I'm saying the way that they ended the Acolyte, like they covered all that under there. We saw Yoda, but we saw none of that in the real timeline that we like. So that was a big cover up. So what Chris is saying is they're doing something very similar, because I don't think we're going to see all this if it's going to stay consistent with the movies. Because I think Brian made up a good point on Anzo's channel about the others, the shit with Ridley and the rest of those people. They should be knowing about some of this stuff, but right now it looks like nobody knows nothing. This is at the front part of this, but they should be sending some kind of text messages or some kind of transition or something. Hey, beware this, avoid these planets. They're not doing that.
Yeah, because ultimately we know that Wayland Yutani in Alien is sending them to the planet because they know something's there. This explains why they would know. But they would either have to capture all these things, kill them all, or something would have to happen. Something like that has to happen. So Wayland Yutani eventually, or Yutani and Wayland in this case, eventually have to get to a point where they're going to say, we can't let anybody know about this, but we know now, so we're going to explore this a little bit further. Because you get the feeling in all the movies, not all, most of the movies, they're trying to capture them. And then eventually in Alien Resurrection, that's what they do. And they're trying to study these things. They're trying to dissect them and all that. So this shows why they would have that motivation. This went awry. They lost these specimens. They're going and mutating and doing different things and becoming all these different things. So it's not controlled. They're thinking they can control these things like they did in Resurrection. And actually, this probably makes Resurrection a little better because they still believe they can contain these things. So, I mean, I'm just saying that has to eventually get there. And so they're starting to move that direction. Some of this stuff, characters are dying. We can start going that direction. But yeah, if it's this season, well, that's going to be quick. But if it's 2 seasons, maybe it got more time. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. That's it, though. Really.
Yeah. All right.
I got a negative.
Go ahead, Danny.
Right. Yep.
My biggest negative is they haven't told us whether or not the Asian lady knew about these things, or they would just send them out to see whether or not what they could find. To me, that's confusing. And if they did know about these things, then how did they know about these things? Where did this come from? Because to me, this seems the way they're writing it, it's not. This is the first deep exploration that's going to take 60 plus years, whatever the case may be. So I'm a little curious. Like, okay, if you knew about this, how did you know about it? Or were you just sent them out there to explore and they came across these things? The way that Morrow is narrating the story and talking, it seems like they had a clue these things were out here. And in some
Facts.
kind of way, Cavalier, he got hold to it because he planted somebody. He saw the competition do and said, "Okay, I'm gonna plant a plant just in case they find something. Then I'm gonna get a jump on it." So my main question is, why haven't y'all told us how they know these things are out here?
Hmm.
That's my negative.
It's a good point.
Fair enough. That is a very, very fair point. Do you have any other negatives, Danny, or is that
I really don't like the other kids. I wish that instead of the one, what's his name that got killed, um,
Noodles.
Toodles. I wish the other black kid that may have had a whole 3 minutes of screen time, he could have been a sacrificial limb. I'm not really feeling these kids, and that's usually that ain't me, but
Danny want to get rid of the two black kids right away. You see that? You
no.
see what
I
I'm
said the other one, the one that
saying?
got killed. I didn't want him to get killed because I kind of liked him.
Okay, you would have rather the
I
other
would
one
rather the
than
other one that I have no vested interest in. Okay, bye. No, I don't even know his name. Does anybody here on the panel knows his name? I don't know his name.
to be
So they
honest with
got
you, I don't really
two or
know
three
who it is.
characters on there that we don't even know. Well, unless you die hard into this, and now what's his face? She's starting to get on my nerves. And now since the male doctor has been impregnated with the xenomorph egg, they can get rid of the female because she really ain't of no importance. So
I feel you.
they making a lot of characters that seem to have importance not important. So I'm saying thin the herd.
okay? All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Is that all you got, Danny? Or
Yeah, I got nothing else. Oh, very likable episode in my opinion.
okay?
I might probably have the highest grade, but it is what it is.
No, that's perfectly fine. Anzo negatives.
All right, so I said earlier that I think this show is going down a path that I'm not feeling, which is the Wendy and the xenomorph stuff. I am not feeling that, but I think Danny did make a good prediction on our show where he said he thinks that that xenomorph is a queen, and I was like, that's really good. I like that. But what I do think that if it goes down the road where I think it's going to go down, where Wendy is gonna kind of be like the queen, right? Where the xenomorph is gonna listen to Wendy, and Wendy's gonna want to save the xenomorphs because we got hints of that in this episode when she's talking to her brother and she's saying, "Oh, well, no, they just want to survive," and started to compare it to how humans treat people and stuff like that. Now it's like, okay, I have a feeling I know where this is going, and if it does, I'm not gonna like it. I'm really not because now like I think Danny called it where it's like you're trying to make the xenomorphs like anti-heroes. And I'm like, no, no, that's no, xenomorphs have been stone cold killers throughout the whole Alien franchise. I do not want to see this anti-hero where it's like, oh no, the xenomorphs were just trying to survive and you took them from the inhabitants and that's why they're being so aggressive. Nah, I don't want to see that. So if they do that, that's going to be one of my huge negatives, and that alone is enough for me to just like be like, nah, I don't like this show. If you don't stick the landing for me and you do something like that, it's going to ruin everything that it has been so far for me. So
Hmm.
that's the one thing I don't want to see. Um, Other than that, there wasn't really that many. Oh well, okay. So a lot of plot devices in this show to get to where they needed to be. Like, for example, the kid going to go and feed the aliens all by himself. They asked about Curly, and Curly's right there, and he's like, "No, I can do it myself." So I get it. Like I said, they're kids; they want to prove themselves or whatever. But plot device. him going into the room, pulling off the cabinet door and it breaking, then him having to go in there to bring the food. And the fact that the one that he actually had to go into is the one that eats metal. You know what I mean? Which is exactly what he is. So I just found that like some of the plot devices are kind of like, but if Danny is right and Kirsch is setting it all up, then I can take away that. But right now, I think those plot devices are really starting to become annoying to me. So
Can I ask you a question about that?
yeah, go ahead.
If the essence inside of the synthetic bodies were adults and they did that, wouldn't that be more of a plot device than the reason they're doing silly stuff because they're not mature. They're kids, and kids do silly things. So isn't the
Yeah, but
fact
we're
that they're
acting like I'm talking about like 16-year-olds, you know what I mean? 15-year-olds. They're still immature too, and they're still capable of doing something like what happened to him. They get startled and fall down, and get locked in that room. So I'm not talking like it has to be like a 20-year-old that's smart enough to know. Yeah, I'm definitely not going in there. But you could do the same thing with like a 16-year-old, 15-year-old.
okay?
Okay.
Yeah,
Very
those are my main negatives. Other than that, can't really think of anything else right now.
okay. I'll get into my negatives here real quick. The kids are really annoying, especially that one kid who was by the lake going, "Oh, you need to hang out with me," and then meanwhile the guy who Moro was kind of being like, "Hey, I'm gonna kill your family if you don't give me my xenomorph," and he's like, "No, leave me alone," and the kids be like, we need to play games, like, man, like, I'm sorry, but it's annoying at this point. Like, the kids themselves are annoying. I and I think someone said it best is that they're kids to make bad decisions and to kind of give an excuse for those bad decisions. But it's like what Anzo said, it's like plot devices and it's just plot convenience. And it's almost like roll your eyes worthy. That whole setup where that the kid gets the acid splashed on him by those two flies. It's like, I mean, it's just conveniently that one door that's to slide the food in was, broke. Like, it's just like, it's stuff like that just makes you go, ugh, really? Like, I know I'm grasping at straws here, but it's little things like that are just like, really, that's just a really weird coincidence. Anything else do I have? I mean, I really don't have much because a lot of the negatives I have will probably just be retreads of what I've already said, so I'm not really going to go into it. Um, I'll be honest, I don't really have many negatives here. Maybe it's just because I'm drawing a blank here, but if I have any other negatives, I'll probably bring it up afterwards or when we get into our final thoughts. All right. Well, so speaking of final thoughts, I'll let everybody give their final thoughts, grades, and predictions. We'll start with Danny. Your final thoughts, grades, and predictions.
I think so far, for me, this has been a very interesting series. Like I said, I used the word earlier in the stream. I think it's, for me, masterful how they have these storylines that have me really interested. I really have been really interested in a series. Like I said, it's been sprinkling here or there or whatever, but Tuesday nights I really want to see this and or either Wednesday morning. I think Kirsch is fantastic. I think Morrow is fantastic. Um, Cavalier. Those are three to be standout characters on here. I think they're killing it. Um, we learn more about the different creatures. That eye boy, he is something. I don't know who thought about that, but it's fantastic creature. I'm like Anzo. I want to see what this plant creature does stand hanging from from the ceiling what it can do. Like I said, I think it's very interesting that the the cyborg and the synthetic know more about these creatures than anybody else on the series. To me, I think that's a key piece to keep in the back of your mind, and how it's going to possibly turn a tide one way or the other when they finally do match up. I think that Kirsch is planning something. That's my overall thoughts. I'm still going to stick that. I'm not sure what it is. I also think that in tandem with that, Cavalier is playing something. I think that there's a theory I heard out there that he's already a synthetic. I don't know about that. But if he isn't, I think he is trying to get the best parts of those creatures, whatever he can get, to try to create the ultimate synthetic body, or he's going to allow himself to join with one of these creatures to try and elevate his intelligence, immortality, whatever makes him tick. And for this particular episode, I give it a B plus. I think same thing give it on Anzo's show, B plus.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Chris.
Let's see here. Arthur's toast. I think it's pretty clear he's infected. I think that I'm kind of wondering if either Chris Morrow or Yutani is going to use that as a bargaining chip, but I really don't think he's going to make it out alive. Not that it really matters. I think it matters how he goes, not the fact that he dies. Kirsch's lies or manipulations as it stands right now, he's kind of playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers, and I think that he's going to end up on the short end of everything. I think the things he's doing, that he's trying to control and trying to manipulate, is going to lead to probably some sort of a hybrid rebellion or mutiny. Maybe even the humans and his little team there, maybe they're going to do that too. I'm not sure yet. I still think that they're going to at least kill 2, 3, 4 more people. Obviously the hybrid alien, all that stuff, it's going to break. They're going to have a breakout. They're going to lose containment again. And I believe maybe a little in 7, or maybe, I definitely think by 8, it's going to become a full-out war zone in the facility. I'm going to say that more than likely Morrow's going to die. I said Arthur already. I think Kirsch is definitely going to die too. And I think, yeah, I think right now that's about all I really can be sure of. I definitely think the corporate showdown thing will escalate. I think Yutani's going to come out on top with Waylon. I think that's what's going to lead to this Waylon-Yutani merger. Anyways, that's some of my thoughts on that. I'll go A. I'll give this an A.
Okay.
Oh, and let me say something really quick here. I want to apologize to you, Austinator, Anzo, Danny, and if Shifty watches this, apologize. Sorry that he's not here. That's my fault completely. I do apologize about that. And I'll talk to him about it and make sure I'll apologize to him tomorrow too if I need to in person. But I apologize.
You owe me an apology too, Chris.
I told you I apologized, and if you want him, I'll give him to you. Then you're like, no, don't do that. Like, I'm trying to say, like, does he want me to or does he not want me to?
I keep going back and forth on that shit over and over again.
I know.
So it is what it is, bro. I'm good.
I'm barely hanging on by a string with my freaking players. It's like everybody's going down. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm good. It is.
And anyway, I do apologize. And Shitty, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I will back the fuck off.
Well, you know,
You're
hold on.
Oh,
You know,
God.
I'm never backing off, right? You're gonna hear this for the whole
Oh,
freaking
I didn't say
season.
you had to.
Oh, okay. I'm just letting you know.
That's it. I'm backing off on. I'll back off on Shifty. I really all I wanted to do was get a question out about the fact of the whole.
You got to read the tea leaves, Chris. Got to read the tea leaves.
Nah, screw that. Don't back down, man.
Oh,
You gotta
shit.
be, you gotta be man enough to take it. It is what it is. We all had to take it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
It
my
is what
God.
it is.
I wish he was here. It's better to have another opinion on here, especially with somebody who likes the showrunner and everything. I want to hear what he has to say about it.
Yeah,
That's
of course,
the thing with it.
100%.
That's what I'm
Man
saying.
up, 50.
Yeah.
I'm teasing.
All right, but yeah, that's all my stuff there. Thank you.
Hey, yeah, no problem. You're good, man. Anzo, final thoughts and final grades.
Final thoughts is if this does what I think it's going to do, I'm not gonna like it. I'm gonna have a big issue. But if they do a complete 180, give us something new, I'll be okay with it. It's just her speaking with the xenomorphs is something new. It's just something that I'm not feeling. Not feeling the anti-hero xenomorph, so I hope it doesn't go down that route. But I gave this episode, I believe, a B. I'm gonna stick to that. It's a B episode. It's definitely a decent episode. They did a lot of good things in there, but I'm just worried about the next two. Just don't drop the ball. Have it end properly. And like we said earlier, I know there's probably going to be more than one season, but you got to make sure that at the end of the day, when you do end this series, that it ends in a way to us like, okay, so that's why they didn't know about the aliens, or that's why they didn't get this information. So, by that being said, B for the show. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay. Very good, very good. I'll give it. I'll probably go with a B plus, somewhere around there. It's one of those episodes where it's kind of like episode 4, where I think it's more build up than anything, and I think the next episodes will pick up. And I'm kind of with Anzo on this. Like, if the last 2 episodes don't deliver, then my opinions on the show will probably be a lot more negative. But I will say, for the most part, I think this show is, solid, like I said before. But it's one of those things where, because it's ignoring a lot of things when it comes to like the lore and certain things like that, like I hope there's a way to explain it, because I've said this before, I really hope this is not one of those things where it's like, oh, it's in the Predator timeline. Like, I know Shifty brought it up, and with Predator Badlands coming up, I mean, it's possible that could be the case. Maybe that's why it's ignoring certain things, but I really hope that's not the case. I just hope that they explain things, and hope to God that it ends satisfactorily. I do kind of agree. I think that the more political aspects of it, in terms of like the companies, like the whole butting heads thing, I hope there's a little bit of like a set, like kind of an ending to it. Like, just, I want to see a satisfactory ending to everything. Like, I mean, realistically, I think something's going to go wrong. The xenomorph's going to burst out of the guy, and it's going to run loose, and then that's going to be a whole thing. As far as like other predictions, I think the goat's going to escape the eyeball, and then like it's going to fight the xenomorph.
Who wins?
I don't know. I mean, I
think that eyeball is going to take over Xenomorph.
But where would the eyeball go, though? Because I mean, it doesn't have. Because that Xenomorph doesn't have any eyes, so I mean,
we might get a Cyclops Xenomorph.
That would be very strange. I don't know how I feel about
Wouldn't
that.
it? Yeah, I don't want that to happen. It's like Anzo said. I don't want I don't want to be sympathetic to the Xenomorph.
No.
And what was it? I forget the movie. I think maybe Predator was the movie, but it basically said, listen, some things are just designed to kill indiscriminately, not thinking about it. That's just what they do. I need that body. I'm gonna put a host in there, or I'm gonna make it a host. I'm gonna do my business in the body, kill it, and then come out and be what I am. You know, that's some of these things. That's what you do. It's nature. That's what the facts of nature are. If they go and make us try to feel sorry for the xenomorph, what's the point then?
I mean, that's what David was doing in Prometheus and Alien Covenant. Was like he was designing the xenomorphs to essentially be like, you're not sympathizing with them. They're just things that hate humanity, and they want it, and they kill things. Like, they're mindless drones. So you do anything to really make, and you guys brought up a good point here, is if you do anything to make you sympathize with these things, you kind of lose what makes Alien like Alien, if that makes any sense.
And you bring up the fact that the eyeball going in and taking over a xenomorph would be strange. I kind of equate that to like when Jurassic Park tried to make the whatever it was called that killed the T-Rex. It was like the T-Rex was the big thing, and then you go kill that big bad with something else. That's kind of how that would be. It's Alien. Let's not kill off or reconfigure what it is.
But what I think is, because we talked about the xenomorph and the eye, I think the xenomorph does have an eye under that shell, and I think that's what the eye went for, right? So if it can get underneath that shell, I think it can get into a xenomorph. But I don't know if that's where they're gonna go with that. But like I said, if that's a enemy of the xenomorph, like they showed where it had just attacked the xenomorph, because it looked like it called the xenomorph, where I was like, oh, the xenomorph and the eyebrow on the same team, but then it ended up attacking the xenomorph, right, when it went into the human. So it seems to me like it's probably one of those creatures that either, I'm the dominant creature and I need to kill everything else and survive, or it's a natural enemy to a xenomorph, right? Which is
so
interesting.
To answer that question, because I just looked it up on Zo, because I couldn't. I don't think it has eyes. It says no. The iconic xenomorph from Alien franchise does not have visible eyes, but its skull has eye sockets. So it's kind of like maybe.
Yeah, right. Because I read another one where it said that the eyes are underneath that kind of skull thing. So if we can get through that, it would be interesting to see. But we'll see where it goes with that.
Yeah, I just don't know what I would think. I mean, I don't know. It'd be weird. But what else you can do with the eye? Right?
Right. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, but if that eye gets into a xenomorph, and then that
Silver.
intelligent of a xenomorph or whatever.
Yeah, silver.
Don't know how I would feel about that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's on Earth. What's it gonna do? I'm in a spaceship and like say, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
I personally would prefer that than to have them do this Wendy talking to the alien stuff, what they're doing now. You know what I mean? I'm really not feeling that. Really and truly not feeling that.
Agreed. Agreed indeed. All right. Well, I think we've hit it's almost 11 o'clock. We're about almost at an hour and 20. I think we'll wrap it up for tonight. I want to thank Justin Proper and Right Dude for showing up. Appreciate you guys being in the chat. I'm going to go around the panel one more time, let everybody know where they can find themselves at. We'll start with Chris Knight on the bottom. Where can they find you at?
Real Review 3000, Honstar YT, Chaos Central, all those places and more. Tomorrow night, we will be doing the weekly wrap up, games, fun times, all that good stuff. And if Shifty shows up, a personal apology to him again. Anyways, thank you. And I believe this Monday on Chaos Central, it's Anzo's show. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge to Danny. I hope we're doing Square One here again soon. I know it's his show, so if he can't get around to it, I understand he's a busy man. But sports is here, doing the football picks and all that other stuff. So good time.
That's correct. Make sure to get you guys picks in there before 1:00
Yeah.
tomorrow. So picks in.
I'll get them to you here just a little bit.
Is it a 9:00 game tomorrow?
Oh, is there?
I'm
There might
asking.
be. I don't know.
They
There
like
might-
putting on 9:00 games 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah, there might be.
They're playing over there in England. I don't think there is, but there'll be.
Not yet. I think the next one's more mid-season, maybe.
No, it starts at 1 tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Anyways, that's me. Thank you for
Alrighty.
having me again.
No problem. Always great to have you.
That's week 4. It'll be at 9:30.
What's that?
Week 4, it'll be a 9:30 game.
Oh, week 4. Okay, cool.
Anzo, where can I find you at?
Yeah, guys, you know where to find me. Bigger Forward Entertainment. Do a lot of stuff over on the channel. Chaos List stuff. OOC stuff. New show, The Rewind on Saturday. Just make sure to check it out. It's always a pleasure and fun. Thanks for having me, Austin. Good show.
No problem. Always a pleasure having you on. Danny, where can they find you at, sir?
You can find me on my channel, The Road to Wisdom, on on Mondays and Fridays at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can find me here for the next 2 weeks, Saturdays at 9:30. We'll be discussing these final 2 episodes of Alien Earth. Also Thursdays, you can find me on Ozo's channel discussing along with Brian. Also, Sundays, Storms Live at 8 p.m. Wednesdays, The Hangover. Mondays, first 2 Mondays of the month, with Chris and Anzo with Chaos Central, sometime on OOC. And now I got a secondary channel called The Way I See It, and I upload anything I want on that. There's really no filter, but I try to upload things that I think is funny, things that I normally don't want to put on my primary channel. But thanks for the invites. Entertaining as always.
Oh, 100%. We need more of these entertaining streams. We really do. They're absolutely fire. 100%. You know what I mean? I could just mute my mic and not worry having to be the one that's in the argument. I just gotta listen.
I know, it's free content.
I was dying.
Yep, it is little entertaining.
There you go.
At least there's a silver lining to all of it.
Yeah, 100%. Shifty will be okay. He'll be back next week. Shifty will be fine. Shifty has a thick skin, so he's upset now, but tomorrow will come around. He'll be cool.
Yeah. You can find me on my channel. We've been doing these Alien Earth roundtables. I think this week I might do a wrestling related stream because 2 major things happened this week that I got to rant about. You can find me everywhere at this point. Just everyone's links are in the description. So go and check everybody out. And with that being said, I think we are wrapping up for tonight. So I want to thank everybody for watching. This is the Austinator signing out.
Peace.